Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Soul Work. I'm your host, Jeni Cousins, and we're live here on Shaw TV tonight. And we are going to be taking calls after our commercial break, and that number is 403-539-6710. So make sure you indeed give us a call, Calgary. And on tonight's show, I have a very unique guest, I must say. And my guest tonight is Jason Gogo.
Thank you very much. The unique one is exceptional. Several are fantastic. So that was very, very nice.
Yeah, you are very unique. I like unique people.
Yes.
I do. I'm drawn more so to more unique people because it's like they're not scared to be themselves.
Well, and they're
right?
easy to pick out in a crowd.
Yeah.
You know, they tend to, they're definitely, dressing weird, talking weird, doing weird things. There's sort of a interesting underlying thing about people like that. So,
yeah.
We all blend in.
Yeah, you're keeping it real, though. You're being your true self.
Yeah.
Because some people are really, nervous to really bring out who they are.
Yeah.
Right? Because like my attitude is, this is me, take it or leave it type thing. So.
Well, even some of the most unique people I've ever met have stage fright. You know, like I know Barbara Streisand has it, Madonna has it. There's times, I'll be speaking at a charity event or something like that, and I'm scared, terrified, but it all rolls out. Hey, you find your mojo a few seconds deep, and it all goes well. Yeah.
You do. Now, just to show the viewers, this is Jason's art. He's an artist, and his work is phenomenal. I love all your pieces, by the way.
Thank you very much.
All of your pieces of all your pieces, there has not been one that I haven't liked. So what made you become an artist?
Well, it's a strange story. My father is an artist. He actually is in our National Gallery. I grew up just in a small town in Saskatchewan. My father taught art for Art in the Parks Community College, U of S program. So he was always traveling, and people were always coming to the house, but he was a stay-at-home dad. Like, I had a stay-at-home mom and a stay-at-home dad. So when we were really young, like even before we were in school, he would just spend time during the day teaching us to paint and teaching us to sculpt and, teaching us useful skills kind of relating to art. And, I like music as well. But in 1998, I just decided, I don't want to do this anymore as a hobby. I kind of want to jump in. Mm-hmm. And I jumped in, and, the rest was just kind of history.
Mm. It's amazing. Now, what do you use? Because your artwork is not the average artwork.
Yeah, it started out, it's kind of been an evolutionary process in the sense that back in the day when I was an actual starving artist, it was, do you want food or do you want better quality paint? So I couldn't always buy the mediums, that I wanted. And, it's, you make a couple paintings, sell them, buy what you need for the next few. But, over the years, I kind of really got into looking into chemistry and pigments and, what made colors, certain colors and what type of organics went into them. So I started creating a lot of my own mediums and, commercial mediums, things that I would buy at art stores, etc. I started phasing those out over the years. And, like even a classic example, when you look at a spot like that, it's got a reflective pearlescent nature. One day I just decided to bust up a bunch of shells in an industrial bud buster, and this white arsenic powder. I would mix it with my mediums, and I would get these cool effects. So I started just creating my own mediums, and my own style kind of just grew out of that.
Mm. Do you have names for your paintings at all, or just
there's so much information in this art. It's kind of a style or a process that creates itself that I sort of don't want to sort of attach the viewer. I like the viewer to kind of get what they get out of it, see what they see out of it. As the lighting changes, as the environment changes, so does the information in the art. So I think for the viewer, I'd rather give them credit. let them see, let them make an attachment to it. And then in essence, they kind of surprise me sometimes. I'm like, I did not see that. And they're like, that's your signature. I'm like, I know, and I did not see that. But so.
Do you think it's a coincidence that because your dad was into art that you got John into art?
Well, I think that, growing up around an artist like my father, it was definitely an influence. I don't think it was necessarily coincidental, but it was definitely, I really liked that life we had. My parents would throw parties, where my dad would sell his art, and the most interesting people would come over, even in Yorkton, Saskatchewan, to purchase his art. They'd travel from all kinds of cities, and so it was just that lifestyle that I just really connected to, like interesting people and, something different every week.
Yeah, it's really stunning. I mean, especially now with the lights on it here.
Yeah.
Definitely. And your gallery is here?
Now, I don't do a gallery. I do have a studio in Calgary, Alberta, but I usually tend to throw a show once a year or once every couple years, a big show. And, the last 10 have been sellouts, so they've had reasonable success. And that's what I like to do. Put it all into one night, and then I can just kind of, spend the rest of my year, collecting some new ideas and just kind of working on it. It's a very intense process. It takes a lot of time.
I bet it is. What would you say to someone? Let's say if I said, okay, I want to get a paintbrush and start doing art somehow. What advice would you give to someone who wanted to get involved with art or artistry?
Well, art's artist is a self-proclaimed term when you really think about it. It's but art is just this very, very diverse sort of, some people like to do it for expressing themselves. Some people like to, do it for the nature of recreating something, something they have on their mind. They all have different reasons. So I always say, there's kind of no mistakes or things that you can make in art. You can kind of, it's a learning curve. It's like anything in life. So, I would always encourage people, if you feel like you want to do it, don't do it next week, do it today.
Exactly. Because I'm sure you've had some interesting experiences doing your art and such like that. What kind of interesting experiences have you had?
Well, it's very bizarre. Now, this is a coincidence. But, when I grew up in Saskatchewan, I didn't really make the correlation till recently. We lived by some train tracks, and trains were always going by. Yeah. And my new studio is over in Inglewood, and the trains really run 24/7. And I found that when I moved back from LA and moved into that particular studio space, there was something about the trains that just changed the nature of my artwork. And what I mean by that is it just made me so much more patient. I just started enjoying spending time. Like, I'll do a 2-day stretch where I don't sleep and, I'm drinking 7-Eleven coffee and just working. And I swear those trains have something to do with that.
It could, because the energy and the vibration from it, you could be picking up from.
I grew up in that house. I was born in that house. Yeah. So as a baby, I think, maybe hearing trains is definitely necessary in my work.
Calming.
Yeah, calming.
Yeah. Have you ever, gone near a train station since then and set up like just an easel and start painting at all, or?
Well, unfortunately, the way my art is made, I don't really do it, in the more traditional sense of easels and brushes and things like that. But I got one right across the street, and I sometimes when I'm bored, I'll go out and I blaze a dart and read the swear words, graffiti swear words as they come by. And I'm like, I did not think of that. But it's a very, trains are it's a very interesting thing.
I bet it is. Did you believe that when you meet people, certain people, that you connect with people from your shows or different thing, that they're part of your reincarnation?
I'm not a believer in reincarnation, but as far as people I meet, definitely, I think we're all connected somehow, and we are all connected somehow. But you know, it's very, very interesting when you see how people are environmentally shaped and genetically, you know, what influences them to be this person that you meet one day. But you know, the interesting thing about that is, somebody once told me an interesting statistic. They said, if you went on a train, how many people do you think would share the same birthday? And I was thinking to myself, well, it's 365 days in a year, probably about 700. The number's actually 23.
Really?
Yeah, for it to be a 50-50 chance. So there's a lot of things in life. You know, I think, you know, the universe is very chaotic, so we always try to find order in things. So I think that, you know, we connect parallels with people, and that's the most enjoyable part about my job.
So if somebody wanted to see your paintings or get in touch with you, what is the best way for them to do that?
JasonGogo.com. My email is info@jasongogo.com.
Okay.
And, you know, or just look for me in a show. We do plenty of advertising leading up to the event.
Definitely.
And, yeah.
Definitely. Oh, that's just wonderful. Now we're going to take a short commercial break.
Yes.
And if any of the viewers have any questions for myself and or Jason, give us a call. That number is 403-539-6710. We'll be right back after this short commercial break, Calgary. Hang in there. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Soul Work. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Jeni Cousins, and we are live here tonight on Shaw TV. And I have a very interesting, unique guest. I had to do it. And that is Jason Gogo, who is a phenomenal artist. Phenomenal, I might say it at the least.
Thank you very much.
Wow, it's incredible. And our phone lines have just now opened. And just another reminder, Calgary, that number is 403-539-6710. If you have a question for myself and Jason, give us a call. We already do have someone on hold already. And that person would be Carrie. Carrie, you have a question for us.
Yes.
Yes.
My name is Carrie.
Carrie, yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering, you know, I've watched your show before, and I was wondering what my near future might look like, because I've been in, had shoulder surgeries and stuff like that, and well, going back to work, what I can do.
So you want to know when you want to go back to work?
If I can, or what might happen to me.
I think that you are going to get back to work here, but it's not going to be for quite some time yet. Like, things happen for a reason, and even whenever we get body injuries, it does represent different areas that we need to focus on. Usually whenever it comes to the bone, it does represent keeping certain angers in the body. So it's more about you doing some stretches on it, but I keep on seeing the number 3 for you. So if you keep on doing even more stretches, more physio, I feel that you need more physio than anything.
Okay.
Right? So
yeah.
I would say I do see a lot of change coming around you within the next 18 months. It's not going to be right away.
No.
No, even take up artistry with the arm.
With the good arm.
Yeah, with the good arm.
With the good arm.
with the good arm, because...
Very therapeutic.
Yeah, it's very. I bet you find it very meditative, like a meditation almost, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure. And you know what?
Yeah, we've been brainstorming on that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you could fill up the time doing something artistic.
Yes, absolutely, because things do happen for a reason, seriously. And when it comes to the body, the first thing I look at when it comes to an injury, different parts of our body represent different types of things that are going on emotionally in our mind and different signs. So for you, is it the right shoulder?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, so the right shoulder has to do with your male side through ego and everything. So it's all about you balancing everything. But seriously, like, realistically, I kept on seeing that number for you. So within 3 months, just do a lot more stretches. I just really feel like even if you do swimming, it's going to get better for you, even though you could have been knocked down for quite some time, right? Yes. But things are going to ship up for you within 18 months or so. They really are. So hang in there. And something will come your way. And seriously, like, even something artsy, even anything like that, just to get your creativity open, things will shift for you.
Oh, right on.
Busy mind.
Right on. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, and thanks for calling in. And we have another caller on hold, and that would be Rick. Rick, you have a question for Jason and myself.
Yes, how are you doing today?
Good.
Good. I just had a question. I just feel like I'm in a bit of a transition period in my life, and I just wondering what you were seeing.
How old are you now?
I'm 55.
Yeah, your energy is fairly young, actually. I thought you were a lot. I kept on seeing the number 47 around you, but I did. I just saw that number. But 57 to 62, you're in a new transitionary period for yourself, right? I don't see you staying here. I don't feel Calgary is for you. I see a shift coming for you. So keep your mind open for change.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it open for change and look out for an opportunity here coming your way, I would say within the next 6-7 months.
Okay.
Right? And, don't bring any fear into anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the way I've been feeling lately. So my art is what I do, and I've been losing inspiration in the Calgary area.
Yes. Well, there you go. Jason's the one to talk to.
Yeah, it's a tough market out there. I think everybody's down a little bit. It's easy to get down. It's hard to stay positive. But,
right.
It's coming back. And I think that, like Jenny had said, I think if you explore some other opportunities, it might be a temporary opportunity.
Yes.
It might be a show in Cologne or Vancouver or working with some artists somewhere. Mm-hmm. But, if you do keep an open mind, I think the art world, that's kind of what an artist's life is, living out of the suitcase and from show to show. So I think if you really embrace
I have a farm,
that.
and I'm
Sorry?
Yeah.
I have a farm, and so I'm just trying to figure out if that's really where I should be
going
back to. Or
Well, but it doesn't matter what you're doing. I always tell people, follow your passion, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, that's why I brought up fear earlier, right? Because whenever we put our fears into certain things, we stop things, right? Because we're here to follow our passion, because that's who we are. Anybody could be a fireman, anybody could be like a doctor or artist or anything. That's what your passion is, and that's what you're here to do. The farm for you is okay and everything like that. It's like a safe haven, right? But I just really feel that change coming in for you, and just surrender it. Surrender it. I surrender absolutely everything in my life, everything. And I attach to nothing, and I have no acceptations for anything.
What kind of art do you do, Rick?
Well, I'm a builder.
Nice.
So I consider what I create art. For
with your hands.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, very good, very good. Well, the rewarding part about being a craftsman or an artist is you never really retire from it. So I think that
that's right.
It's something to look forward to. You won't feel your age when you consider how much time you have left to do this.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Okay.
And thank you for calling in. And we have Oscar on the phone.
Coincidence?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, this is a question for Mr. Gogo and la señora Jenny. What do you guys do to look so good? And another question I do have is I want to go to Miami. I don't know what I'm doing here in Calgary. So what is in my future for me, guys?
You gotta
Come on, don't laugh
you
about
got to
it.
put the
Tell me
hat
the
on.
truth.
Well, Oscar, if this is the Oscar I'm thinking of, you're very talented. But, I always say the best way to embark on a new journey is to drop a baby down a volcano. The sacrifice seems to appease the gods. Now, barring that and certain laws in this country, I would say definitely Miami is a good place to visit.
Tony
I
Montana.
love you guys. By the way, you both look fantastic.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you very much,
Anytime.
Oscar.
Well, you guys have fun, and you look like you're having fun. It's a great show, man.
Well, thank you very much, Oscar.
Okay, baby. I'll see you soon.
Okay, you have a good night.
Oscar. Gotta love Oscar. He's
the
awesome.
one and the only Oscar Lopez.
Yes, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's my number one.
He is the most amazing entertainer.
He is.
I've had the privilege to have him play a lot of my events and shows. Dinner on Blanc one year, he played a few of my art shows. He is he's all personality.
He is. And I like him because he's unique. As I brought up earlier, I like somebody when they're unique because they're not scared to be themselves. They're bringing out their true essence of their soul, of who they are.
But like I said earlier, I like trains, and he's like a train coming at you all the time. So, he's loud, he'll shake your bones, and he's graffiti-esque.
He is. He's amazing. So for those of you who haven't seen the Oscar Lopez, you got to go see his concerts.
Yeah, he's amazing.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah, I saw him a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
and he just blew the crowd away.
Yeah. No, he was on here. He was on the show.
The funniest thing he ever said to me is, I said, when do you find time to practice? He goes, practice?
Yeah.
I don't need to practice. So he is very, very good.
Yeah, he is. He is awesome. And I mean, your work is just stunning. Like, I can't, say enough about people have to go see your art.
Well, it's an interesting story, like when you mentioned, like, what draws you to people. When Oscar and I first met, we were at a wine event, and we both went outside for a cigarette, and we both lit our cigarettes in unison, and then we both pulled out little miniature bottles of cologne before we went back into the party, and I was like, is this my brother from another mother?
Reincarnation, that's past life.
Maybe
See, there you
brothers.
go. No, seriously, because I know when I've met, I know you're not really into the reincarnation, but I do see reincarnation and past life in that. And how you're connected with someone from a past reincarnation is when you meet somebody you've never met them before, and you just connect with them. You feel like you know them.
Well, he's a lot to know.
Yeah, I know he is. He's awesome. And we do have another caller, by the way.
Perfect.
That caller is Sherry. Sherry, you have a question for Jason and myself. I almost said Oscar.
Hi, I'm a body healer, but I'm also an artist, a painter.
Oh, nice.
And I haven't been painting for a few years, but I would like to start again.
Okay. It's up to you.
I paint monks.
You paint monks?
I painted monks for a while, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm also interested in painting all kinds of things, so portraits.
Okay.
Well, I was just going to say, if you want to get back into it, before Jen does your reading, the simplest thing, if you're not certain about what you want to do, try a few things. You'll feel it. It'll present itself to you. You'll understand what you like and what you get the most fulfillment out of it. But, art's just something you can start anytime. I mean, if you're stuck at home today, get a felt pen and a piece of paper. Art is just, it's available in every type of medium, everything. But experiment and definitely get back into it, because, like I said, this is the one thing I would not trade with anybody. My job is my favorite part about my life.
It is. And it really shows again.
It's a labor of love.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It really is. That's why it's like, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But I would do that absolutely, as Jason says, Sherry, because you're very intuitive. You're a very, very old soul. So if you really, just surrender it and focus into it, I really feel that you're going to start doing more intuitive art, right? And it has something
Thank you.
It has something even more so connected with animals of some sort. I see blended in somehow with your artwork.
Well, and monks are very peaceful.
I love dogs.
And very spiritual. So if that's something you like, and like Jenny, if you're a sensitive person, you care about animals and spirituality, like Jen said, I think that's something that'd be very, very interesting.
Yeah, because I just saw the animals around you, and it just really feels that, like, I always stress the importance to people to spend quality time alone, because when you spend quality time alone, you can hear your soul speak, you hear those answers coming in, and then all of a sudden, you start to get more creative, more ideas coming in. But I just saw, like, birds around you, but animals, more creativity with your art. So just surrender it. Don't get stuck on it. Don't stress yourself over it. When do I do it? When do I start? Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Surrender it. Let it go, and let it come to you. And within 3 days, actually, you very well could bring something more into you with that. So I highly would do it. I mean, of all people, Jason would know about that.
Definitely encourage that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that Jason was on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Okay, now
You're so lovely.
Now,
You're so wonderful.
This is where I talk about it's not a coincidence because it was meant to be. Is it a coincidence? No, it wasn't. You're here for a reason, and there you go. There's Sherry.
Well, you know, it's weird. There's some wires in the wall.
That was a big plus for me because I've been in the intuitive healing business for so many years, 30 years or so, and I had a BFA in art, so
wow.
I've always wanted to do my art, and I did it for quite a few years recently in painting, and now it's become like a huge thing because I'm
Have you ever
retired, I think.
Have you ever
probably.
Have you ever considered like kind of bridging the gap between being a healer and an artist and maybe creating something, like there's a lot of really, high-end spas around and, like it's hard to find art that would inspire the people that are looking for peace and tranquility and certain types of energy. Have you ever thought about maybe bridging the gap and using your experience as a healer and your technical skills as an artist and putting something together for that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
I would really give that some thought. I'm actually getting the wrap-up sign already, unfortunately.
Thank you so much.
But seriously, Sherry, really, really tune in. Like Jason gives excellent advice for that. And just listen to your soul speak intuitively, and it'll just happen. It'll just naturally happen for you when you least expect it. And it wasn't a coincidence.
It wasn't.
See?
And when it doesn't happen, double down, because it will happen, like Jeni said, when you least expect it.
Everything happens when you least expect it. Believe me, I know all about that. I've had many things happen to me recently and over the years. But
so
surrender.
Wonderful.
Surrender.
It's coming true. Thank you so much.
There you go. See, surrender it. We're moving into Mercury retrograde. Magic's in the air. Boom. And I want to thank you. And I want to thank Jason for coming on the show. That's phenomenal, your art. Phenomenal.
Well, thank you very much, Jeni. I had a great time.
You're welcome.
And it was awesome. Awesome crew down here.
Yes.
Interesting callers.
Yes.
As usual. And so that was great. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And this is Soul Work, and we are live next week on Shaw TV. If you miss any shows, they're all under YouTube under Jeni Cousins. Good night, everyone, and get that paintbrush.
Good night.